Hi everyone, Dan the Mixing Guru. Today I want to talk about how to share your tracks and projects with other people. Now, if you have the same software, same plugin, same DAW like Pro Tools or whatever, this is very easy. You just take the audio files folder and the session folder and just send it to them in a Dropbox or put it on a disk and they can open it up. There you go. However, the difficulty comes when you're using different softwares. Even if it's Pro Tools to Pro Tools, you may have different plugins, or you may be using entirely different DAWs. Say I'm using Pro Tools and I'm sending my project to somebody else to do a little bit of work on that's using Logic or Studio One or something. So I'm going to teach you a few things here real quickly today about how to make that a very easy process. First, I'd like to talk about how to send all your tracks clean without any inserts or processing whatsoever, just the clean recorded tracks, but get rid of all the edits, give individual nice full-length files to somebody. This will be very useful. Say you record your material and you've done all your recording, all your editing, and you're ready for a mix, and you're going to hire me, the Mixing Guru, to do your mix for you, and you want to send me your tracks. This is exactly what I would like from you. So number one, the problem is, say somewhere here where you have a bunch of edits and missing space. If you send me that, I'm not going to be able to pull all that up. That's different files. You want one nice file. And the thing is, you want every single file that you send me to have the same start point. Even if it's a bunch of blank space in the beginning, you want them all to start at the same point. So all I have to do is drag them into the DAW, and they all load up. I hit play, they all play together, and I can work from there. So the easiest way to do this in Pro Tools is the consolidate function. So if you want to consolidate your audio tracks, all you have to do, the easiest way to do this is, generally I like to duplicate my tracks anytime, the playlists, anytime I do any kind of editing or anything, so I want to go back to it. So what I would suggest doing is hold Option, go to one of your tracks here that has audio on it, little triangle, hit duplicate. That's going to duplicate every audio track you just did by holding Option. So now there's a separate playlist, so if anything you want to go back and re-edit anything afterwards, you can go ahead and do that. This isn't going to erase anything. Select the All group and just click anywhere in a track that has audio in it. And there, it's going to highlight all of your tracks. Now, like I said, we want the same start point, so we'll just hit. I usually put markers in here. If you run to the 0 point, you can just hit return and go to the 0 point and shift click and highlight somewhere else. I usually put start and end points in my songs, just a much easier way of working things and see where you're going and get rid of dead space in the header. So I click on song start, shift click on song end, and it's highlighted my whole song. And all I have to do is hit consolidate, and it's going to be in the edit menu. Here it's consolidate clips. I'm sorry, I had to look for it here. I used to use the shortcuts. Option Shift 3. So we're going to go ahead and hit Option Shift 3. And this is going to render out every single track. Now you want to make sure you have your tracks well labeled. It's just another point in sending tracks to somebody. I wouldn't label this even how I have them labeled if I was sending it to somebody else. I would relabel it instead of bass DI dupe 150 whenever I would say bass intro or another track. These are pretty good. Bass DI distortion. That's fine. Guitar DI. I would say it's guitar rhythm guitar left DI, rhythm guitar right mic. Just keep it nice and clean so when they pull it in, they know what they're looking at. So as you can see, it's made brand new audio files, full length for everything, even stuff I didn't have any audio for. It was just a track that was open. That way you have everything you need. All you have to do is go in here, go into your session files, and go in your audio files folder, select date modified, and you're going to see all those files right in here in your audio files folder. Created October 20th. And select them, and there you go. Drag these into a Dropbox folder or onto a thumb drive and send them away to your buddy. They can pull them in and do whatever they want in whatever DAW they want to work with. So that would be great for me for mixing. However, I'm going to just undo that. if you didn't have, if you had things on here that you wanted to keep on the plugins. Now, I wouldn't suggest ever sending anything with EQs or time-based effects to somebody. However, I'll say here, trigger, and this kick drum track right here. I'll take all the groups off. Take all group off. Suspend the groups. Okay. So let's see here. So load up the kick drum track, and here we got going on. I turn these off. So you can see I've got a sampler replacement on there. Now, if you're sending it to me to mix, I can do my own sampler replacement when I get here. But say you've already done something like that, and you really like the sample that you're using. Now, I don't want anything else that you've given me. I don't want any of the transient designers or the reverbs or equalization or compression. I just want the sample. So what I'm going to do is here, we're going to make these inactive. So it's just going to be trigger. Actually, we'll turn that one back on because it's probably a limiter or something. Okay, so we got our sample that we like, trigger. We can do Pro Tools, I think 11, and if not, this is 12 I'm working on here, has some really cool features for this. Before, you would have had to route this channel to its own aux and then hit record and play through back to another track, or I think in Pro Tools 10 or 11 you could do an offline bounce of individual tracks. But this one's even cooler. You hit right click or control click on the track header, and you can go down to this function called bounce. Just bounce, but it's bouncing the track itself, not the whole mix. So we can go in here, select we want a wave, no, we just want multiple mono. Just keep it the same as the session. And it's just, you can set a prefix so that if you do, you can actually do multiple tracks at the same time, which is really useful. Say you're going to do this for all your drums. So actually, I'll even show you that. We'll do the snare too. So take these and turn these off. There we go. So I have the snare triggered as well. So we're going to do both of these. Bounce. I got to refix this here. And I'm going to import them after bounce. You don't have to do this if you're just trying to share with somebody else. You don't need to clutter up your session with them, and it'll show up in the folder. You can choose your folder here. I would make a new folder somewhere. Let's just here. Name it something, name it something that is going to make sense to you. I would name it the name of the song, bounces, or whatever, who it's going to. But you have a nice little folder. Keep everything together. Now we're going to go through here. We're going to hit bounce and do offline. If you wanted really, really high quality, I suppose you'd want to do it online. But for now, we'll do offline. Hit bounce. It's going to do its thing. And it's just, any tracks I have highlighted is going to do this too. So be careful you don't highlight a bunch of tracks that you didn't want to do, because it's going to process a lot of extra stuff. All right, we're going to make it a new track and session start as far as importing it, because these don't matter where you have your selection marker in there. Doesn't pay any attention to that when it bounces it. It bounces from start to finish of your audio track. So we're going to do session start, new track, hit OK. And there we go. Print to this 2 new tracks, and these have nothing on them. No inserts, no processing, full volume. And there we go. There's our sample. So there you go. And that goes the same if you have a guitar amp simulator on a DI track that you want to keep when you send to somebody. I would also send them the DI track as well, clean. That's just always the best way to work in case they have to add something or do something different with it, or even just for visual editing purposes. If you have vocal effects, this one has some pretty cool vocal effects on one of the tracks here. I think it's this one right here. I'm weak, holding blended with another track in here too, but we were going for a kind of creepy vibe. I got a bunch of cool stuff going on. So if I was going to send that to somebody else, even for mixing purposes, they may not have all those plugins, and that may be a sound we really like, so I'd have to send that as well with all that on there. And another cool purpose here, say you wanted to send somebody pitch correction. First thing I do is make them a no vocal mix for reference, so they know what the key of the song is and everything. I would just mute out my vocal tracks. Command Option B, that's on the file menu. Bounce. This is the bounce menu for the the whole song. Select all your. We don't want to interleave it on that one, and I don't want to import it. Of course, name our sessions appropriately so that people know what they are. We can keep good track of them. Hit bounce, and it's going to bounce out of no vocal. I'm just going to cancel on that. And then you would want to consolidate. So that would give you a no vocal mix, and then you'd want them to be able to import the vocal tracks, just as we talked about before. All you have to do is highlight, click, shift click. And here's where I would be really picky on the labeling as well, making sure that everything's labeled quite well so that you know what track they are and you know what track they're going to come back in as. Okay. Set your start and end times, and Option Shift 3. And there you go. Same thing. These are going to be in your audio files folder up for the session. Look, they're already right there. You'd send these along with that no vocal mix to your pitch correction guy, and he'd be able to pull everything in right at the start and take care of that for you. So now we've shown how we can share tracks with other people in multiple different ways, with plugins, without plugins, and keep it all very simple. It doesn't matter what DAW you're in. So I'm going to show you that in Logic as well. And the cool part about that is we're going to do, let's see here. I'm going to show you how to pull those in. Why this is cool. So everything October. Oh yeah, I pulled all those. I actually did this yesterday as well. So pull all these. Okay. So you can just highlight all the files that you created in the consolidate. Pull them in to Logic. And let go. And let's try that one more time. We're gonna place new tracks. Okay. So now I'm importing all of these into Logic. Just drag and drop. Make sure they're on it, and then there you go. They're all in the same order. We can drop in somewhere. Now, of course, these are the clean tracks. So you hear a bunch of DI guitars, and there's nothing, no reverbs, anything. Everything's all, comes in at nominal level on the faders and everything. That's a great place to start mixing. It's all right there. It's all lined up, ready to go. You can just go into your mix window and start having fun. Now, say this was all edited up, cut up, whatever. This was your session. You were working in Logic. This is very easy. So I would just select a track for time reference, or you can make a selection in the timeline in Logic. Go into the export menu. A lot of cool options here. You can export the region as an audio file, just if you want to consolidate one file for yourself for easier editing. You get it all edited up and you want to make a file, just one contiguous file. You can take that one region, turn it into an audio file. Now you can also do track as audio file, which gives you the option of adding the effects into it as well. The region only gives you the actual, it's like a consolidate in Pro Tools. The tracks actually has an option for giving you can hit bypass effects or not. Actually, what we're going to do, this is the coolest part though. Logic has a nice little one right in here. Export all tracks as audio files. Do that. It's going to give you every track. Find a nice folder to put it in. New folder. Actually, I already have a folder waiting for this. Go into desktop, Logic export. Okay, you want the full quality WAV files, 24-bit. And if you say you're sending it to me for a mix, we would want to bypass the effects plugins, just clean tracks, but you have the option either way. You can include volume and pan automation, which again, if you're sending it to a mix, do not include that stuff. We want it as clean as possible. And you can also add the resulting files to your audio bin in Logic, which is basically the same as pulling it back into the same session for yourself. And you just hit save, and it'll save them all. With, again, labeling is key here because it's going to use those as track names. Again, I'm going to hit Command period to stop that, just to show you. Okay, folks, so there you have it. Easy ways to share your files with other people that have different softwares than you do, so they can either work on it, add to it, edit it for you, or do the mixing. This is Dan the Mixing Guru, and we'll talk to you next time.